What you're looking at is a Milwaukee M12 flashlight that I've taken apart, and I'll show you how to put it back together. And this is just a female 12 volt socket. So I want to keep the light functional and make this live whenever I put a 12 volt battery in, so that I actually get 12 volts out of this tiny little thing, and I can carry that around to run my cleanup sluice. So I'm going to show you how this is all going to work. That's the positive, and then this and this is where it transfers into the circuit board and out. This is your on-off switch. Now I'm not going to switch this thing. I want this to be on whether or not the flashlight's on. So put a battery in and it's live. The wire that I'm soldering in, I've pre-tinned, so I've already put solder on it, so I don't need to add solder to this with a third hand. Solid. So these are the screws that came out, and this is apparently a little magnet. So keep that away from everything for now. But long, medium, short, medium. These are just sort of the order of the holes that they go, because it's always a little tricky to put things back together. If it's the first time you've done it, I've just drilled the hole through the side so this can move in and out right now quite freely. And my goal is to put everything back together now that I've tapped into the positive and negative. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Okay, so that's all together as it should be. But before I stick the other side onto this piece here, this is going to be a little bit tricky. These guys are, because this thing clicks, so I don't technically need this to be functional, but I would like it to be. You put the spring in the middle. And then that comes into this side like so. Puts it into place. This goes into the other side, so then the spring just presses these things out like that. And slide this over like so. That clicks. That clicks. We should have a functioning light as per normal with this little takeoff. Now to finish things off, I am going to fill this area with hot glue. You'd be surprised how effective hot glue is at actually holding little projects like this together. Somebody asked in the comments how I know how to take all these things apart and put them back together. And I can say for a fact, it started as just taking things apart. If you have a tool that is broken and you're interested in this type of thing, pull the thing apart. Do your best, just as an exercise, to figure out which part is broken. If you can fix that part, give it a go. And then put it all back together again. You'll be surprised how many things you can actually fix. And it just takes time. This little clip here, because there's no place for a screw at the very bottom, but they don't want this coming apart like that. This little piece just sort of slides up here. See if I can actually do this. Sort of press fits into there. And we now have your positive and negative, which I'm pretty sure I did the correct orientation, so that my bilge pump runs in the correct direction. And on, off. So here it is. We have a 4 amp hour battery. According to running this cleanup sluice off of my Jackery, like a portable power bank, it pulls, I think, about 45 watts. So this should run it for a full hour. And I'm kind of just thinking, like, for spooning in concentrates, an hour is pretty okay. I'm going to show you this sluice. We're going to see if this thing actually runs. The light does turn on. Not a super bright light, but days are getting longer. So in the hopes of carrying less concentrates, like a big 5-gallon bucket adds up. And while you're out there, if I can bring my little cleanup sluice, which I'm going to set down here and show you guys. I don't know if I'll actually be in frame here, but essentially this cleanup sluice, if you classify to a 12 mesh, I'll classify to a 20 mesh for Alberta Gold, but for a 12 mesh, this thing does a pretty good job. I've shortened it up a little bit. It's got these little hooks at the bottom so it can sit in a tub. It's just sitting on the bucket right now. This is a 1100 gallon per hour bilge pump. It says it's 12 volts, 3 amps, 5 amp fuse. This is a washing machine hose. You can get this on Amazon for pretty cheap last time I checked. So I've got my light here so I can have a look at all of my gold, do whatever it is I do, and I should be able to run for a straight hour, whether the light's on or off, with this setup. So I obviously don't have this set up perfectly right now, but it's running, still have the light. This is awesome. That is an entire cleanup sluice running right now off of this little M12 flashlight unit. You've got the light so you can have a look at all that beautiful gold in there. Well, that makes me very happy. Small little project, just something to kind of fill in the afternoon here on the weekend. Super happy with how that worked out. It cost $20 for that flashlight. I already had the little cigarette lighter socket lying around, and I just had to buy an M12 battery charger, which I got off Kijiji for 10 bucks. And for now, I'm borrowing 2 4 amp hour batteries from a friend who actually has some tools, and I'll sort of see if I like that size or if that's sort of the direction I want to go going forwards. Pretty happy about it. What do you guys think? Maybe in a later video I'll give you an update of exactly how long the thing runs for, but hey, if I can get an hour per battery, that's plenty to run through some concentrates out in the field and really reduce the weight that is coming home. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, cheers.